still hanging in there, but I totally feel you with that because
I think it is hard to, realistically to decide because that's your family member. Like at that point, that's your baby. You've spent,
I don't want
a
her to
lot of time
have my life
with that dog.
All right. Welcome back to a new episode of Dear Dilemma. We are on the struggle bus, Anna and I. We are tired, but we do this for you guys.
We do. And, just going to throw it out here. I already had it out here, but our basement was completely flooded. And we had to completely gut everything. And Brooke and I filmed down here. So it's been a struggle. We do have our new little setup that we're kind of excited about.
There's a lot happening around us that you can't see right now.
We are cropping out all the boxes and all
for your own good.
The massive amounts of clutter all around.
Things happening around here, but that's okay. And the show must go on. The show must go on. You won't be able to see it, and if you do, for any reason, hush it.
Yeah,
don't say
no
nothing.
Judgment.
Don't say nothing.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, her dilemma is her basement is not looking too hot, but we'll get there.
Oh,
Anyways,
goodness.
We hope you had a good week. We have a new submission for today, so Hannah, take it away.
So I have an elderly dog, and she's been a hassle to handle lately. She goes potty inside all the time, and she's up sometimes throughout the whole night. I don't want to put her down, but I'm almost to my breaking point. What should I do?
Who wrote that in about my dog?
Oh, yeah, Molly.
Who wrote that in about Molly? I feel ya, because I also have an elderly dog. She's 16. And she does the same thing. And I think it's just I'm not a doctor, but I'm assuming. I think it's their arthritis and stuff. Their pain gets bad.
Yeah.
I think about your grandparents and stuff. Like my dad is 68 and he's hobbling around. He's like, ah. So it's hard.
And they have more troubles with their bowel and bladder, just as maybe our grandparents do too. They got to start wearing the briefs and stuff.
I've tried diapers for Molly. She does not do that. But I have gotten pee pads because it is hard. I feel like when they get older, they start losing their bladder. They can't control it as much anymore.
And Molly's little at least. So you
she's
can
a
do
mini
the puppy pads.
I should bring her one
She's
time
really
before
cute,
she crosses the rainbow.
She could be our little
she would just lay right here.
I know, she would be so good.
She actually sometimes in the middle of the night when she gets going with her pain is she'll bark randomly or in the middle of the day. She basically sleeps a lot, except sometimes in the night she doesn't. And then she'll just be in there and all of a sudden you'll hear her bark and she's just staring at the wall in the corner. One time we found her behind the door and we're like, what are you doing?
She sees her ancestors.
The wall?
Yeah, she's seeing.
Don't.
Seeing people.
Here's my advice. This is my plan, I guess, is I would not put her down until she can't walk at all. Very bad struggles to walk. She's not eating or drinking.
Yeah, or when it gets to that point.
Yeah, or if there's something else goes on, if she's blood in her urine, puking.
Yeah.
When I took her to the vet last, actually I asked them about all that and they gave me a paper. So maybe you should do this. I don't know if your vet has this or you can look it up, but it was an end of life. When to know it's time.
Oh.
And it was a bunch of it lists a bunch of things and then you check off what your dog has.
That's a good idea.
Molly had one.
Oh, really?
Thing. And I was like, you guys can have this back. She's like, no, keep it. This is mainly just a personal checklist so you know when the time is probably coming.
Informational.
They start to have this, and this, and this. So she's 16. She's still hanging in there, but I totally feel you with that because
I think it is hard to, realistically to decide because that's your family member. At that point, that's your baby. You've spent,
I don't want her
a lot of time
have my life
with that dog.
I got her at 16, and I'm 32.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an emotional thing because your pet just, goes through all these phases of life with you and maybe even is your comfort through different
she's been through
phases.
A lot with me.
And been, your best friend for a long time. I remember when I was younger, we had an elderly chow
Oh, yeah.
And they're not really, like, I don't feel like they're that common. I don't feel like a lot of people have chows.
Because they're like one person growing up.
I think they're kind of like sort of an aggressive,
more
aggressive breed.
That dog was never allowed out of his cage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was nice to us and everything. He was kind of a protector, and but he got cancer in his spleen. And then it got to the point where we moved to a 2-story house, and he always came and slept with my parents, and he couldn't make it up the stairs anymore. And like, they knew that he was in just a lot of pain. And finally, like, I mean, they were carrying him up and down the stairs for a while. And then I think they just realized that it was like that time.
Yeah.
You know, like, he was just ready to go. He was in a lot of pain. So then they made that call. But I do think it's really hard to
It is hard. And I think
decide.
Dogs they try to keep their stamina going for as long as possible. And I don't know if there's a difference between like big dogs and little dogs. Because again, she's a mini Yorkie. So she's like 7-8 pounds. And I can tell also she's like, when you pet her, you just feel her spine so much more. Kind of like my grandma. I hug her and she's just skin and bones. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't do that. But my friends tell me Molly's going to outlive me. And I'm not kidding you. I keep saying, and I know this is maybe wrong to say, but I'm like, I just feel like this is the year that she's probably not going to be here next year.
Really?
I think so. But watch her stick around till she's like 22.
That would be kind of
because
crazy.
she still loves to eat. Like, she is up at 4 p.m. when it's dinner time. I'm like, girl, you don't eat till 5:30. I don't know why you're sitting by your bowl. She is up for breakfast bright and early, 6:30. She opens her eyes and she sees that sun shining through. It's time to eat.
Yeah.
But she has really bad nights too where she's up every single hour. And so I just let her roam. But then we have hardwood floors, so all I hear is the
I hate that.
and I don't like know what to do.
We had a dog, and that was like all I would hear in the middle of the night. Like, I had to literally shut him in a different part of the house because all I would hear.
Well, and you know how tiny my house is, so it's not like I have a house like yours where I can really put her away and get some sleep. So it's really challenging, but I just think to myself, even though I get very frustrated, I don't abuse her, guys. I do yell at her because I'm like, gotta sleep! But I just think she's not going to be around forever, and this is probably really cutting it close.
Yeah. That's hard, though, because obviously, you know, it affects your sleep pattern and your quality of sleep when you're up all throughout the night with your dog. I mean, just like a new parent.
I was getting ready to say it made me like when she does that and I'm getting no sleep and I'm like beyond frustrated because I'm like, oh, this is insane. I think to myself, I don't think I would be a good mom, but maybe it's different when it's a baby because my patience isn't there anymore.
I'm just gonna be honest, like, even with a newborn, it's hard. Like, because you're so sleep deprived at that point, especially if it's happening like night over night over night.
Oh, and you know I get nauseous after 11 p.m. if I'm up.
Exactly.
Oh.
So lack of sleep plus getting up every hour. So whether it's a dog, new puppy, elderly dog, or even a newborn. I know that we had another submission a long time ago and we're like, is somebody playing a prank on us? Like, is this about a dog? Because it was somebody like slept all the time or something. But I don't know. Anyways, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. No, it is. What I think about too is like, you know, my fiance was like, if she dies, are we going to get another one? And I said, are we going to get it? No, I don't want to go through the puppy phase. Absolutely not. The puppy phase is, like you said, it's pretty similar to the elderly because they're just
up all the time.
And they're yapping.
And more accidents. Like, your patience is worn thin with them.
I can't buy Clorox wipes anymore because they're so expensive that I had to go back to a Swiffer because she sometimes misses the pad or she just bypasses it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm running out of money buying oh my goodness. But again, I'm thankful that she's with all the medical stuff she's ever gone through, which is a lot. It's a list. I'm so glad she's here, even though I get frustrated when she does have her bad nights.
Yeah. I haven't really gone through a puppy stage with a dog. Like, I've actually never really had like a dog for like me.
They're cute.
They are cute. I don't really have a desire though. Like, I like pets, but I don't really.
Get a cat.
Josh is allergic.
Oh.
But
never mind.
I don't really have like a desire to have a pet, honestly, because
you guys can just
the freedom. Yeah. But I do want to say, at least from like the newborn perspective, so if you're going through that phase, but like with a dog, you have to remind yourself, like you said, it's only for like a short period of time, and the commitment is worth it, essentially. But it's
I hope so with a kid.
Well, yeah, but I just meant with a dog. You got to remind yourself.
The commitment's okay with the newborn.
I'm going to get murdered online for comparing kids to dogs. That's probably not a good idea.
People are like, you're not a dog, or you can't celebrate Mother's Day being a dog mom or whatever it is. And I'm like, but that's all I have to offer.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, I
became a mom
you
at
have
16
that bond
with her.
Right. You have that bond with her. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It pays off in the end. It's just like you have to remind yourself in those moments of sleep deprivation, like it's only going to be for a couple more months till they're potty trained, or it's only going to be whatever. And then if you get to that point where you're like, you really need to put your dog down. I mean, it's hard. It's just a hard decision.
I'd rather her go on her own. I know that's going to be hard too to find her, but I would rather do that than knowing like I'm taking her into an appointment to have her be.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
That would be hard.
I think it would be. I mean, it is.
I've already looked online. She's getting cremated, but I found this place that creates stuffed animals, but they look exactly like your dog.
Aww, that's cute.
And I was like, I'm gonna have to get one.
Well, and you could even do like the ashes that like you get put into necklaces and stuff. I don't know, just something special.
Yeah. I say, I would talk to your vet, see if they have like an end of life form.
Yeah.
And just like we said, remember that your dog's not going to be around forever. This is probably the last. I mean, hopefully not, but possibly the last year or 6 months. You never know.
Yeah.
So just really try not to get upset. That's what I told myself, and just love on them because they're really in our life for such a short amount of time.
Yeah. And they, you're their whole world. Like you're their whole entire world. Like you have this whole world outside of work or outside of home. Like you go to work, you hang out with your friends, you do all these things, but a lot of times they're just at home.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, it kind of makes you sad because it's like, Brooke's home or whoever's home. Like, it's my whole world.
I'm mad at them when they get so excited when you walk through the door. And I know they're jumping and they're acting crazy. But I will say she has gone to Florida the last 2 years. So she's been to the beach. I got her a backpack. So, like, if they're old like that and they're small and you're able to put them in, like, a doggy backpack or whatever, try to take them out more because they only get to see your house or your backyard. I will say we're bad and we don't take our dogs on walks, but it's kind of difficult with her, too. So, I like to change that. But they've gone on vacations and stuff. So, it's like, I would rather them be with me on vacation than at a border.
Yeah. And if it does get to that time, I had a friend that I thought what she did with her dog that was ready to pass was really cool. She took off the whole day from work and she made like a special day for her dog and like took her to all of her favorite places and like got her a special meal, like just made a whole day out of it. And then the next day actually went and put her down. But I just thought it was really sweet. Like, I think that the dog knew like, okay, this is like my last hurrah kind of thing. Cause she was like really miserable, but got excited at like the certain spots that they stopped at and
that's
the things
sad.
they did.
I will say if it does come down to it and you end up or I have to end up putting our dogs down, I do kind of like the idea of giving them, while they're hooked up to the IVs, a piece of chocolate. Oh, because obviously nothing's going to happen because then, sadly,
and then they can taste it and it's so good.
And they're like, wow, Mom. And then you're like bawling your eyes out. They're like, why are you crying?
This is so good. Why are you crying?
Just hang on to the last moments. It gets frustrated. I know I'm in the boat with you. I have tons of other people are in the boat with you. Yeah. We're all going through the same thing. Just really love on them and check with your vet, like I said. And
I think that's a good suggestion.
Like pee pads, diapers work, making sure they potty while they're outside because she tries to not do that. And I'm like, girl, we're not going in this house until you pee. I don't know why, because she'll come right in and pee. I'm like, but I hope that helps. And I hope your dog lives a little bit longer.
Yeah. And we'll see you Thursday. Don't forget again to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And
really follow Instagram because since we can't put our survey, the link to submit the submission.
Oh yeah.
Make sure to like follow us on Instagram because that's really the only place that we can put it on our stories.
Yeah, I actually just showed a friend today. She was like, "Where do you put the submission into?" Because she was like, "I have one for you," and I was like, "Oh, if you go to our Instagram on like our bio, it's the easiest way to do it." And I showed her, and she's like, "Oh, that's so much easier than like YouTube or whatever." So, yeah, for sure.
So if you're watching this on TikTok, go to our Instagram, and that's where you can submit your 100% anonymous submission of your dilemma and or anything you would like to tell us.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll see you Thursday.